Greetings, everyone. Welcome to today's session of Monday Munching and Musing for Women for Water. This session is conducted with the support of Water Resource Council of Women Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and in collaboration with W4W Foundation and media partner Counterview. My name is Anubhuti and I am the National Youth Representative Community of FICCI Water Resource Council. I am joined by Dr. Mansi Balbhargav, who is currently holding the position of National President of FICCI Water Resource Council and also the founder director of W4W Foundation. Welcome, Mansi.
Hi.
Hello everyone.
Today in this session, we are here to listen and know more about Lalita Panchanathan. Lalita started the company Pavani Solutions in 2013 with the intention of providing reliable service of drinking water purifiers. Water being a precious resource, she has suggested the ways and means to reduce and reuse wherever possible. Her organization works with people to harvest rainwater, reuse the grey water. She is graduate in mathematics and have been an ardent learner. She is a Rotarian and works closely with the club's environment committee, be it tree plantation or lake rejuvenation. She aspires to bring awareness among people to stop wastage of precious water and use it judicially. Welcome to today's session of Monday Munching Lalita. We are so excited to have you on today's session. To start the session, we would love to know, how did you start your journey in the water sector and how are you currently engaged in the water sector?
As you just hi, hello everyone. Very happy to be here. Talking about my journey, I started my company in 2013. So we are running in our 12th year of our company. So start having my husband had a business in was already in the water line, so we I have always been involved in the business. Then when I got an opportunity to branch out on my own, I took the opportunity. And the cost for this thing is, water being a precious resource, and access to clean drinking water is often taken for granted. People, they just want to open their tap and you take a water, it is assumed to be clean and good to go. So uh, bringing conscious awareness of, how to drink clean water. And Bangalore generally has good water, but sometimes during the rains, we do get brown water in the taps. So just the awareness, when you hear all the diseases being spread, you instantly link it. That's the tap water doing its job. So being the purification space is very challenging and at the same time rewarding.
Right, Lalita, like you mentioned about the challenges that you must have faced or you have faced in the sector, or bringing awareness to the people, or even managing in the city like Bangalore. So,
Yeah.
would you like to mention the challenges that you faced and how did you manage to tackle those challenges?
On normal customers are like, they assume they know everything. They Google knowledge or whatever hearsay, that is the gospel. So it is a kind of a tough job to convince them where they need a RO purifier, where they assume that, UV will do. So we know for sure that, this water, it's not, it needs to be the RO is what is required. The kind of water treatment required there is reverse osmosis for their own benefit. So they think the cost wise and things like that, and assume that, the least minimum UV is enough, like that. And sometimes I face a reverse challenge also, where the water is fantastic, they don't need an RO, but they want to put RO because, RO is RO that way. So the challenges of convincing the customers for their the right requirement for their source of water. So most of the challenges are on those lines.
Thank you so much. So, just to understand a better for our viewers also, just wanted to know, who are these customers you are talking about? Are these any companies or like
Yeah,
privately home based, or like companies you cater to?
Yeah, most of the companies, they are more organized. They have a system where they follow what is done, and the requirement is rather clear. The challenge part in this, the point which I was mentioning is mostly the individual household requirements. Though our major customers are in the commercial this thing, but the challenges, the challenges of the commercial is different. The basic, the acceptance of the knowledge about water and RO and UV is mostly in the domestic sector.
Right, Lalita, just one more question I had related to the challenges. Like you mentioned about the household also, like you cater to the household. So, have you ever faced challenge coming to the part where people sort of compare you with the big brands who cater to the water purifiers, and
Yes.
especially, so
Yes.
would you like to mention how do you cater to those questions to the customers?
Like being in the field, we know that there are some not so popular brands which are doing a fantastic job. The units don't fail, everything happens well for a long time. It's a hassle free brand, but people want branded things, branded purifiers. And what happens is there is no service support. The products, they don't have the spares available. As while buying, nobody thinks of all those things, whether there is service support, whether if something fails, whether the products are available. Mostly they don't think about it. So that is when the challenge comes, when we say, this product doesn't have, we don't get the spares for these, the filters suitable to this are not available. In between, there was a huge phase of Chinese units, all the digital panels. In 1 or 2 years it will fail, and then they have to trash it only. There is no way they can get it serviced or repaired and then start using again. They would have paid a bomb for the for buying the water purifier, but unfortunately where there is no service support. That kind of challenges we see often. So the ideal way would be, an ideal customer for me would be who someone asks us, this is my water, this is a requirement, what do you suggest? Then we suggest them according to, if, as I said, if there is no need of RO, to straight away a UV unit just to kill the microbes is enough. That this thing, so that way it goes. Ideally, if they ask and then do, it will be great, instead of going for a fancy brand. This thing, I hope I answered your
Right.
question.
Yeah. You did. So there has been, I asked that question because there have been instances where people have asked me, why do we put water purifiers at our home when there are certain minerals that are present in the water? The water purifier sort of takes away those minerals also that are essential to our body. And like you suggested, that you talk to the customer about the water they have and what are their requirements. So I think that's a great deal which other brands, like huge brands,
Yes.
are not able to cater. So it was lovely talking to you. I would just hand it over to Dr. Mansi to continue from here.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Anubhuti.
Thank you so much, Anubhuti, for initiating, and good to see you back after a couple of sessions. You were not there, so I was missing you badly. And thank you so much, Lalita, for being so honestly telling that how it is challenging to really deal with common, households vis-a-vis dealing with the commercial clients. I want to take you back to the first question where Anubhuti was asking, because you know that the discussion is on women and water. And I'm keen to understand, you mentioned that your other half is also in the same field. But I would just like to understand, how do you distribute your work between each other, and how do you balance this power relationship between each other?
Uh, my husband is the technical person. I take care of the back end, the customer end, and most of my knowledge is, gained through the hearsay and, seeing the papers, the test reports which have come in, and what suggestions we often. It has been for me, although office part was more of my involvement much earlier, but I have been learning on the job.
Absolutely. We are all work in progress here. And that's what I
Absolutely.
like about you, the way you started. You already mentioned another way that we are all work in progress. We have to learn constantly about everything. I want to take another part from what Anubhuti was discussing with you. Now that you both are in the same profession, of course, in with a divided or distributed work areas, how do you still balance being a professional woman and then also being a family person? You know, because we are discussing about life of women, it is very important to understand where do you find balance? How do you prioritize? Do you have any mantras for the younger generation so that they know what to do in future?
No, younger generations today have their own mantra which don't match up with ours at all. So
But still,
yeah, but the general thing is, we are, sometimes I extend a little more. Sometimes my husband heads pitches in a little more, but it's all about balance, and
yeah, that's the
uh,
thing. Hmm. But you know, sometimes we have been taking more responsibility than we can shoulder it. I mean, this
yes, we
we
do
all
that.
go through this superwoman syndrome without knowing that we cannot take so much of responsibility
Correct.
on our shoulders.
Yeah.
But I thought I must ask this to find out how does it work. But let me just take the questions to the next round of discussion, which is the main purpose here. And after the introduction part of this, you know that through the Water Resource Council and through this series, we are trying to develop a repository of role models in the water sector
Yeah.
and role models. Indirectly, we are talking about celebrating women in the water sector. And
Yes.
there is a reason why we are doing it, and I'm sure you also realize the reason that there aren't many well-known women in the water sector. First of all, if you agree with me, I mean, of course, we have that question, but if you disagree with me, then also I have a question. So I'm just curious to understand what is your way of looking at why we are so less in number who are acknowledged and appreciated in the mainstream water sector, why most of the decisions are often seen that they are taken by men, why there are not many women leaders. Over to you.
Uh, there is an imbalance, as you said. It's not because that we can't do it or we are not the knowledge is not there, or we don't take things seriously. It's not at all the thing. The thing is, we have women scientists, we have people in who are very doctorates and this thing. The thing, they don't come forward is my first view.
Okay, so first thing is from our
Yes.
side. Yes, very
Yeah.
good. We have to introspect as a woman.
Yes.
Yes, very well
And
put.
they
Hmm.
just want to keep be the academic part, the family. There is nothing in between. There is no that giving back part is not there,
Hmm.
and being involved, that is why I like the program.
Visibility is not there, huh?
Yes.
So they are doing their work, but they are not visible.
Yes. No, they are also not taking any effort to be seen.
Yes,
Like, for example, I'm just giving a parallel
sure,
example.
sure. Please,
Uh,
please.
till Chandrayaan, till Chandrayaan happened, we didn't know that eminent women scientists were
Absolutely.
part of it.
Oh,
Till
so
the
well put. And no, not many people even know that actually the Constitution was mainly written by a set of women, huh? Nearly
Yes,
25 women who wrote it
exactly.
literally.
And in our own talk, I came to know about this is one thing which the social media was posting. The other side, suddenly I could see women in industries. My Rotary Club is in where I am part of Rotary Bangalore Udyog, that is in the industrial area.
Hmm.
I could find at least 2-3 women who were running their industries, who are veteran industrialists, who have
Hmm.
supplied parts, who have been part of the entire Chandrayaan process. So until something huge happened like this, we never knew that
Yeah,
women are one of the main spokes in the wheel. We didn't know that.
absolutely.
Even now, we're talking about it, I think we are all spokes, but we are not
Absolutely.
visible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I completely agree with you. When I started doing the research on women in water and I run another parallel program on women in built environment, I think one of the reasons which came out very clearly is that which is what you reasoned out, that women are not themselves documenting their work and disseminating. And unfortunately, there is this blindedness in the society that women are not enough documented and
Yes.
disseminated. It lost and from both ways. So women have to be a little bit more proactive. It's not about promoting oneself, because I also strongly believe if a woman from my generation and even senior generation, I see my senior here, Tanushri is sitting here. If we do not document and disseminate the future, like Anubhuti is our next generation, they don't see role models, and they may not realize that this is a profession which has been walked by many women,
Yes.
because if it is not seen, and it's kind of a demotivating. I mean, when I grew up, it was just 2 or 3 women who we could look up to in the water sector.
Yes.
Anyway, so the following up question to you is, one of the reason you said that women themselves are not working towards visibility, and I also added to it that they are not documented enough and all. But let's say when we talk about leadership, it is a genderless or engendered position. I mean, leader does not look at the gender. But what, in your opinion, makes a good leader? Whether it is man or woman, and especially in the water sector, who do you consider could make good leaders? What are the characteristics of good leaders, in your opinion? So
A
that we
good,
can
yeah.
start training, or some things probably are inherent or by birth. I don't know what you think about it.
A good leader is a person, they should listen to their whoever are part of their team. It is a team, it is not a hierarchy.
Yes.
So I think only women think like, we are a team. Men tend to think in hierarchical terms. I am
Hmm.
the leader, you are all my
Boss.
followers, that kind of
Boss.
thing. Yeah, I'm the boss kind of thing. But for us women, it is like, yes, I have my people. They will listen to me and I will be able to guide them. And not only that, we tend to sense they need not, most of the time they need not, the situation need not even spelled out. We can
Hmm.
sense the situation, and by nature we give that help, or where it is the support that is required, we tend to do that. So I think, very putting it very, whatever we can call it, women are better leaders.
Absolutely. I think I think I cannot agree more than this when you say women are better leaders, and I'm sure Anubhuti also will recon this, because when we started, Anubhuti is with me from the beginning of it, and she's now meeting so many of you, and all of you are leaders in your own merit. So there is no true doubt that women make good leaders. They are there. It's just now a matter of acknowledging and appreciating their
Yes.
contribution. So, what actually characteristic, apart from accommodation and teamwork, do you think some skill sets which can be really honed or can be nurtured amongst women, or additional skills which are required, so that we can really work towards it? Because Vicky Water Resource Council itself is a leadership platform. You all are leaders by all merits in your own work, but as a network also we represent the leaderships across the sector. So what do you think, what can be really nurtured among them?
We should learn to delegate, which we don't do. We carry too much on ourselves. We think that we can do it all. Multitasking, we think that we can do everything, and end up
Fancy.
getting stressed. I think we should, give the work and trust. Maybe tell how it is to be done and trust that it will be, you have done a good job of telling, so the work also will be done, and you're
Mm,
always available for, for support when it is required. I think
mm,
all of us should, instead of carrying too much ourselves, we should start delegating work and planning. We
mm.
are very good planners. So the planning, once the planning part is in, there should be no overthinking and going back to it again and again.
Mhm. We think too many times, too
Yeah,
much.
correct.
Okay. That's very interesting to hear, because we keep talking about complex brains of women, huh?
Yeah.
So that is of course inherent
Correct.
in us.
Mhm.
So I mean, probably we have to learn to be a little bit
Yes.
easy on ourselves, as well as basically take things also easier. But having said that, we still need some things which can be nurtured. So the platform like Wiki Water Resource Council and other councils and associations, I would like to learn from you, if you are member of other, you already mentioned you are a Rotarian, which is wonderful, and one of the oldest associations, or you can say network of people who have been doing tremendous work on the ground. So tell me something a little bit more about how this rotary system works, where you all participate in terms of network and in terms of doing things on the ground. I know it does a lot of things on the ground. How does it work? Can Vicky, some WRC learn from it some things?
Rotary has its areas of focus like environment and health and girl and women child. So all these things are there. So there are 7 areas of focus, and each is you have a director. Each club has a director. So it is a focused work on that this thing.
Mm.
And for me, it has been a great learning. I have. Been fortunate to have, as you said, role models who would just guide. And earlier I wouldn't take up posts because fearing, oh god, what would I don't know what I have to do. But as I said, learning on the job has been really part of my Rotary journey, where take up the post, find out what you have to do and do a good job.
Take
So
risk.
so that has built the confidence in a big way, because nothing is unachievable. You can do, and there are people to help. So that kind of one ecosystem has happened.
Mm.
So, and water and environment is a huge part of Rotary's this thing. So all the sustainability initiatives, but tree planting, lake rejuvenation, and building rainwater harvesting. So all these things are things which happen continuously, and we get opportunities to be part of these kind of initiatives.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
it's been a
So
good
I,
journey,
yeah,
learning journey. Yeah.
thank you. I wish to still understand. Let's say we have to, sorry, we have to, let's say we have to do a lake rejuvenation, for
Mm,
example, or do
mm,
plantation. How
mm.
does it work? Because I know it has many chapters and all. How do you people work with each other? Do you all know each other? Do you,
Yeah.
what kind of hand holding happens?
See, it can happen in two ways. Either at the club level, they identify a lake. It can be a lake which is close to your area wherever you live, or lake or something, or a water body which is in a rural area. And they build the bunds, they do the desilting, and then the trees. Now we know that trees are required around the lake bund to for it to sustain. So now the tree planting also happens around the lake. So recently, June end, we were part of one. One of the our projects happen from our Rotary year is from July 1st to June 30th. So
Okay.
as a one of the last projects of last Rotary year, we
Ah,
our project last on June 30th, we did a lake rejuvenation project. Just got started, and it is going to be continued. Now it is on the way to Tumkur. From Bangalore to Tumkur is a small town. It's a big town. It's little far from Bangalore. So this was identified by another Rotarian, then who had little hold in the another thing in lake rejuvenation. What happens? We need to have the local support.
hmm.
Cannot just go and say, this lake I have identified, this lake requires rejuvenation. I can't give spout ideas. I have to have local support, because that is for the community there.
Hmm.
So right from the people who live there, and people who are who are in power, we need their support. So
Hmm.
that happens only if the Rotarians living in that area have some kind of good relationship with the both the community as well as the powers that be. So
Yes.
it happens. There is a way it happens. Then they identify how much needs to be spent, and if there are CSR funds available, or if there are people who from the club itself who will be like willing to donate money for the cause. So it's a process. It happens.
Yes. So I'm just trying to understand further from here, because you have been a seasoned, let's say, water worker and doing a lot of grassroots activity, as I understand from you also. Before we had this session, I know you now much better. But just trying to understand, when we work in a network like this, and when we are also focused on bringing a difference in increasing the women leadership and all, what do you think we should be doing as a network and with focus on women leadership? Because you see, the essence here to promote women leadership is that if one woman, or let's say 100 women, are more visible and acknowledged and appreciated, it will create a more en masse, so there will be more people joining water sector. So a ripple effect, and indirectly they're already talking about addressing water problems. Of course, there are many people, but then there are also more men than women in this situation. But what do you think as a network we should be doing to increase the, first of all, the acknowledgement and appreciation or visibility, as you mentioned the word, and also what should we do to even get more women on the forefront in terms of network? What do you suggest? How do you increase the network in the previous or other organizations or network? And probably you can also suggest what can be done here in the Wiki Water Resource Council.
Uh, that's a very deep uh, question which you are asking, because what happens is it's a mindset. Let it be man or women. To be in the public space is a mindset. It is not.
Absolutely.
Many people don't want to be in that space, even to appear on a camera and for an interview also they just want to shy away. It's not me, that kind of thing. But the thing is, I think today's generation will be different, because their way in which they are, even an interview happens on the camera. So, and they want to be in this, they want to be in the, what do you say, in the ecosystem. So then they work towards being part of some of a system, while we were not like that. We were kind of, I think it's a culturally ingrained that you keep to yourself, don't overexpose yourself and things like that. So maybe it's a cultural thing. But actually, telling the truth, there are many women in commercial water purification. And
Okay.
yes, and mostly it happens like how my own firm is. It will be a husband wife combination, or the lady herself has worked for considerable years in the water field, so
Mhm.
she is capable of running the business,
Hmm.
successful business. At the end of 25-30 years, they decide that yes, my children are grown, I have become old, let me close the business. So I have seen women, at least 2-3 women, who have done this. They are
Mhm.
one of the social circles. They are friends that way.
Mhm.
But the the thing right now is, whenever an opportunity to come forward and to be heard is that opportunity comes, people should take it and not refuse the chance to, because it's not the only the person, it is the for the field, and to be heard. It's not only your voice that is being heard, it is a collective voice.
So well put. It is collective voice, because when we speak, we are not only speaking for
Yes,
ourselves. It
yes,
also going to have the ripple effect.
exactly.
Hmm. So, I mean, I'm still trying to understand from you, because you are putting things so simply, to be honest. And you're making me think harder, as in what should we do to increase the network, and also,
Coming to that, I
more.
myself have
Uh,
suggested 2-3 people, while
yes.
they were when I mentioned about Wiki, WRC, and everything, they were super excited. But
Hmm.
when I went sent them the link, these are all people who should be here. I have seen the how they are, what they do. I know that they belong here, but they didn't even take the initiative to fill in the form and at least send a request to be part of it. So
Yes.
I can only, as a person, you
Of
can
course.
only
You
twice
can
or thrice
suggest.
you can push them, right?
Yes.
You cannot tell, okay, you have to be part of this.
Yeah.
I think the mind should change from, let me try, what is this. If it doesn't suit me, I can always come out.
Course, of course. So just to understand from you now, because you raised a very important point, and you have already mentioned about how you have been excitingly working on Rotary and doing a lot of grassroots work. Just curious to understand, uh, what do you think, what really brought you to Wiki Water Resource Council, and what do you think these networks actually do to individuals? Do they benefit? Because see, networks are only useful when the individuals make use of it. Otherwise, network is
Absolutely.
no movement, not no profit
Exactly.
institution, no structure, no no, we don't have bank account at Wiki Water Resource Council. So it's all voluntary. So I'm just trying to understand how women should really look at the role of networks in their individual professional growth. What is your message to them? Why should people join different networks? It's not about Wiki Water Resource Council. It's about how will they benefit by joining the networks. What is your take? And why
See,
did you join? How did you get to know?
it
Curious.
is. I knew about WICCI. I
Okay.
just knew it as a voluntary organization which
Yes.
has different pockets of women under
Yes.
this thing can join together, and there
Hmm.
have been some activities going on in
Yes.
different people doing things. So, but I didn't know there was a separate section for only for water,
Hmm.
and I happened to meet Vidya. She is a
Hmm. She's
professor
part
with
of the council. Yes.
yes.
Dear friend. Hmm.
It came as a pleasant surprise. Then
Hmm.
both got speaking. I requested her, and her work, what she has
Hmm.
been doing in
Yes.
different far corners of the country for the source of groundwater. It was very insightful. This thing. Now
Hmm.
that is her background and connection with water, and
Absolutely.
what connection I have is totally different. But we are
Yes.
still bound by our passion for water.
Absolutely.
We want the water to be how it has to be pure and
Yes.
clean and accessible where it is required. So
Yes.
that is a common thing that binds us, and the same thing, you are also doing your part. You are
Yes.
bringing the knowledge into it, what is to be
Hmm.
done, what
Good
awareness
that
can be
you
brought.
realized it. Good you realized it because
Yeah.
yes.
So each of us bring our this thing. It is like a melting pot into which we are all adding what value we
We
have.
are
We are
bringing all of
putting,
you together.
yes. So the knowledge it's getting this thing, and only that through these initiatives we'll be able to create something worthwhile. By individually we may not be able to do much, but collectively we can do something.
Hmm.
Be heard, and you want Wiki to be heard. I think. More and more participation in national or whatever wherever there is a community which has the some event which is happening, we get a chance, we have to participate. And
Absolutely.
there are many people who there is not much money involved, they want people who work, that's all.
Actually, yes, people want more people to join hand, and you put
Yeah.
so easily and nicely. You remind me of coming straight from the master classes which I have attended on water governance. That
Nice.
the individually you may not do much, and I also remember a line from uh, um, uh, Ratan Tata saying that individually you may go high, but together you may go long. So these are
Exactly.
very ways of looking at things. I'm just putting a philosophical argument here, but
Yeah.
collectively there's more strength. And you put a very interesting thing also nicely, that Vidya has a different specialization, you have a different
Yeah.
specialization. There's something which is binding us. And we are also seeing through the council that there are these different specializations are also bringing us together to take up some activities, some projects, some initiatives, some research, because everybody doesn't know everybody. So you need some people to work with you. And what better than having people from your own network? So
Yeah.
now that you are part of the network, I am also keen to understand what can we really get from Lalita more in the network? What would you like to do more in the network? How would you like to do? What do you suggest WRC should do? And where you can also be, more active and more in the leadership role here.
I'm not sure if we have a magazine or anything. I think all of us can, maybe a monthly magazine. Each
Very
of
good
us can
idea.
just give a
Hmm.
small, because the videos, there may be an audience who watch at their own,
Fine.
they
Hmm.
take time to watch, but I don't know, even the reading many may not do, but at least it is a compilation of, something, some
A
content.
very good idea. Hmm.
Uh,
So if let's say we have right now nearly 100 women, even
yeah.
if 10 women or 20 women gives their information every month, we have a good two-pager. I'm not looking at more than two
And
pages.
like how now you have sorted that each Monday somebody has to speak.
Hmm.
That the
Hmm.
same thing. These 10 people are the ones who are due for the this month's magazine. Something you
Yes,
can
or
divide it up.
somewhere volunteer, or we
Yeah.
need to have
Yes.
junior fellows. Like we have
Correct.
youth council, very good number of youth council, because I was very keen that it's not
Uh-huh.
only again adults and senior citizens
You
talking
have a
about.
youth council.
Very good. So
Nice.
Anubhuti is part of youth council. 20% of the council members are youth council. So indirectly, it's like a mentoring program which is going on for them as well, if they wish
Nice.
to be mentored. So as I was saying, that these councils are stand good as long as you make use of it. If you don't
Yes,
make use of it, then
absolutely.
it's of no use. So I
Exactly.
mean, people like me have been making use of it as much as I can. I mean, especially being in all of you have positions in the council. So very well put. I think we should think about it, Anubhuti. If it can be mobilized some way and not having a big document, but even if it is just a two-pager, what do you
Yes.
think, Anubhuti? Can we think about it and everybody puts two
Yeah,
lines, three lines, some
I
pictures?
think I think it's wonderful. We can definitely dedicate one page to the case studies, because anyway there are few women who are sharing whatever they are doing, what awards they are getting. So we can definitely do one page of both the things of how women are getting representation that they require also, and also what currently they are doing. So I
So
think
we
yeah,
can
this is
design a
definitely
very good. We can actually design a magazine where we can think about publications, grassroots activity, some teaching, some and whoever volunteers to contribute on that month, we can just go for it. I think it's a good suggestion. And also it's a
yeah,
good time,
definitely.
Anubhuti, to bring you in with the last round of questions. And thank you so much, Lalita, to open your heart. You were really giving me a simple masterclass. You reminded me of my mentor Eleanor Ostrom, putting things very simply. बहुत ज्यादा no need to complicate things. Over to you, Anubhuti. Thanks, Lalita.
Thank you, Mansis. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mansi, for asking those wonderful questions. And thank you, Lalita, for giving such insightful suggestions what we can do to bring Wiki Council more active and present. I think one of the suggestions that I could figure out was that we should find ways to have more offline activities.
Mm.
Even though Dr. Mansi does try to engage more people whenever she visits any new city, but I think we need to see how we can make it more effective, and so that more people can join us. Coming to youth, I would love to know, what do you think about the youth who are entering the water field? Is there any suggestions, particularly for the women or the youth who are entering the water field?
Uh, I think the youth today are very much involved. They are aware of the sustainability issues, and they want, they are kind of. I wouldn't. We people tend to be in a little comfort zone because we think that the end day or the doomsday is still far away. But today's generation, they think that the doomsday is the very next day. So that is a mental state. It's a little sorry state because they know about the state of the environment in a more they are more aware of it. So that is why they tend to take more ownership for what they are doing. And there are a lot of youngsters, they are taking up sustainability issues. And water, maybe I don't have knowledge as such that they are taking up the how much research students are taking up and thing. I don't have hands-on knowledge, but sustainability, I'm very sure that a lot of youngsters are going that way. And hopefully with the intention that they want to make a change and push the doomsday little more, if thinking tomorrow, push it for 2 more days aside, so that they relate to whatever the climate change and rising water levels. These are all, they take it on a personal concern. So in this line of thought, I'm sure there'll be a lot of whatever's their core activity they are studied or they are specializing in, they will be at the part of their, they they will not be the generation that wastes resource, because
Mm.
they are aware of the challenges and they know what state the, more than us. Actually, we think that we are safe. That half bottle of water you see there, half drunk, you feel yes, somebody has done it, they should not have done it, but they get enraged for that. It is a serious offense that they have done. How can they do this? So this is the mindset of today's generation. So I'm sure good things will happen, although whatever we have been working towards making the difference, that difference will be created by this generation. I'm sure there will be more, sustainability becomes a way of life, and we stop wasting less water, and being more aware of how we use the water, how we reuse water, and everything is, ingrained in us in the next coming generation. I have good hopes for the only good to say about today's generation.
Thank you so much, Lalita. I think whatever you mentioned, it feels like a great responsibility also, that you believe that today's youth can do all these things. Whenever I meet my friends, I always try and make them aware about whatever I can. So I think that is the good start for all the youth who know about water, environment, particularly to engage their peers with all those knowledge that they have. My last question to you is, what is your message to the youth to engender the water sector?
Could you repeat? Enter the water
Engender the
sector.
engender the water sector. Like, how can they lead the water sector, give rise that, be confident enough to enter the water sector in that sense?
I think there are they know what they are doing. That is what I'm trying to say. If a student after 12th he is taking up chemical engineering, he knows that there is a his learning is going to line somewhere where he is going to help with creating a better environment. The same way, maybe another social science student knows the challenges in a social science angle. So people, the today's generation, they are aware, the ones who are serious, I'm telling, I'm not talking about the frivolous. And there are some frivolous youngsters, so I'm not talking about them, but I'm talking about people who really want to make a change. They're really doing a good job, they are serious about what they do. And people, youngsters who want to take up water, will take up water. So we are not in, that's what I meant to say, we are in good hands. The things are going in a good way, because the wherever it's see, for us, our life happened in this way. But today's youngsters, they take a they want to be there. It is a what, it's a calculated path which they have planned, charted their path, and they want to be there, want to do the work which they are thinking is necessary to make the changes. I am sure we are in the good hands. Things are going good. Everything may not be, visible, that I may sound too optimistic, but it is not like that. There is so much being studied, and people, they're investing so much of themselves to create a better world. I'm sure it will happen.
So
Thank
just may I enter a little bit, Anubhuti, if you don't mind?
Yes, sure.
So, because this discussion is more on being women in the water sector, I'm also keen to add to what Anubhuti was asking at this point in time. How do we really make sure that more women are visible in future, more youth are, in the sense when, let's say, at this point in time when we work, we see more men in the office, right? More men in the decision making situation, but we would like to see a day when actually it's not about men women, but to have that day you have to have more women in the office, more women in the policy, more women in the leadership. What is the message from you to the youth so that they can really blur this discrimination between the genders?
The discrimination in genders is a real thing which is happening on ground. So uh, like all other things, they have to figure out how they handle things. That is a given. But how they want to be heard is another matter. Take up every opportunity, participate, don't give up on opportunities. That is what I would say. When I fight for the opportunities, that is also there.
Hmm. Okay, thank you so much. Over to you, Anubhuti.
Thank you, Dr. Mansi, for pitching in and asking that wonderful question. Thank you, Lalita, for very interactive and enlightening interaction. I felt the conversation was flowing like a water. I hope you felt the same and enjoyed the conversation. May you remain an inspiration to others. We are so grateful to have learned about your water endeavors. May you continue your water activities, and please keep us posted on our WhatsApp group. And now that we are planning to have the Wiki magazine, I think it would be wonderful addition to it. We shall also continue our Monday Munching session with Women for Water every Monday at 5 p.m. And we look forward to learning more from women in the water sector. You may please follow us on our social media platform for regular updates. For now, thank you so much and please take care.
Thank you, Anubhuti. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mansi. It was lovely talking to both of you.
Same here. Thank you so much, Lalita. Yeah. Thanks, Anubhuti. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.